Okay, so this is my one-on-one instructional video, right, or explanation of why I do one-on-one versus a classroom setting. So one-on-one is, in my opinion, a far better way of teaching, right, than in a classroom, right? So real simple. I mean, you got you and 15 other people, right? You will go into that classroom and you might get personal instruction once every 2 hours, right? Because that instructor is either one busy with shooting, running the course, or is busy with other students, and you just don't get that kind of training. Versus one-on-one, right? It's 8 hours of me and you, right? And I'm hammering exactly what you need to be working on, right? Every single minute. And so it's just easily far more superior. I've had so many clients say, "Hey, I took a basic pistol, introduction to pistol and advanced pistol, and I learned more in an 8-hour class with you than I did in all three of those combined." Right? And I just definitely would say that one-on-one is the way to go. So let's try to explain this a little bit better, right? If you can imagine an NBA player who's up and coming into the NBA, like what does that look like? What's the process of them gaining the skills to become a top 1%, right? And it's pretty straightforward. They practice, 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 practice until they reach that 10,000 hours of mastering their craft, right? To truly be worthy of the NBA. So what does that look like? Fortunately for them, it's free. You just need a basketball and you walk down to your local basketball hoop and practice. You practice and practice. The thing is that they'll be practicing, right? And there's no one-on-one basketball coaches out there, as far as I'm aware. Right? Imagine there's something, but the vast majority of the time, it's you, your coach of the local team you play for, and whatever camp you go to over the summer, right? But to truly reach that next level, you have to put in the time, okay? Because they'll go to these coaches and they'll go to these camps and they'll say, "Hey, hold the ball like this, square up, follow through, so on and so forth," and it's always the same. It's always the same. And if we always knew that, if we, anyone that's ever been in that camp would know that. And if that was the case, and if that's all it took, we'd all be in the NBA, right? We'd all shoot 95% from the free throw line or whatever. Okay, it's not like that. It's not that easy, right? What you have to do is you have to go back, go to the hoop, and just drill it out until you gain enough self awareness to be like, "Hey, I'm not perfectly squared up, and this is what's throwing me off," or "My release is not perfect, and that's what's throwing me off." And it just takes time and time and time of grinding it out to figure it out, right? What one-on-one training does is it eliminates that, right? You skip all of that because you have somebody on the outside looking in going, "Hey, you're not squared up," or "Hey, you're not pulling the trigger perfectly the way you should be," right? You need to iron it out. And that's we don't have the luxury of shooting 10,000 rounds, right? Because that's a fortune worth of ammo, right? And you have to practice correctly the first time, right? Otherwise, what you're doing is you're just practicing bad habits, right? And they're going to make you even worse of a shot. Okay, it's going to prevent you from progressing to the next level and becoming comfortable with a firearm. Okay, and so that's what one-on-one training does. It skips all that. It just goes straight to the good stuff, right? And you can start practicing, correctly, right? And so, speaking of coaching, right, and getting a one-on-one coach, right. One thing I want to advise you on is that just because it says sniper next to my name does not mean by any means I'm a good coach. Okay, for example, there's a lot of NFL players out there who are right, trying their hand at being a coach, and they fail miserably. They just don't even come close. They're fired after one season, right? And they could have been, the top of their league in the NFL, right? Versus on the other hand, right, there's coaches out there who never played football, who never even played at the high school level, and they're really big names in the NFL community, right? And coaching is not the same thing as shooting, right? When I take a client out, they're practicing the art of shooting. I'm practicing the art of coaching. Okay, and my art, I take pride in that, right? I'm a teacher, right, by trade. And so when I do this, I do it right. I don't skip corners and I don't do the classroom stuff. Okay. And so if you recognize that, right? If you recognize, right, that one-on-one coaching is really going to take you, way farther than a traditional classroom, um, you know, feel to contact me, right? And we'll take you to that next level, right, wherever you're at, right? Whether if you're a beginner, right, or you're actively competing in something, okay? I promise you, you'll be a better shot after a session. And so here's the bottom line is you'll come out, you'll be a better shot, I guarantee it. Plus, you're gonna shoot 1,000 yards, right? I've affectionately named this guy Mr. Truffles, right? He's a good pig, and he'll get you to where you want you to be. And so I love him dearly. And so if you ever come out and you think, oh, there's no way I'll shoot 1,000 yards, guarantee it. I guarantee you, you'll be skilled enough to shoot that far, right? Using that, and go to work Friday saying, hey, yeah, I've never shot beyond 50 yards, right? And then Monday, when you go back to work, you go, yeah, I shot 1,000 yards, right? Here's a video, check it out, right? So if you're interested in that, you're interested in having a good time, right? Having a hell of an experience, right? Truly learning something while having fun and doing all that, hit me up, SeattleSniperTraining.com, right? Or email me, SeattleSniperTraining@gmail. And, we'll get started. And promise you, it's going to be a worthwhile experience. So best of luck. Hope to hear from you soon.